Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Folks, the country is still shocked and horrified by yesterday's assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. However you feel about his politics, he was a young father of 2 small children and an American who has the constitutional right to express his opinion in safety. It should go without saying that violence is never the answer to political disagreement, but I think these days it should be said as often as possible. And in such troubling moments, I'm grateful to any leader who, instead of dividing us, points to our common humanity. Yesterday, Speaker Mike Johnson made a call to bring the temperature down.
We need everyone who has a platform to say this loudly and clearly. We can settle disagreements and disputes in a civil manner, and political violence must be called out, and it has to stop. Political violence has become all too common in American society, and this is not who we are.
I agree with that sentiment. We should be able to settle our disagreements civilly. In the end, as Americans, we are all brothers and sisters. Or at least Mike Johnson and I look like we are. Now, here's the thing. Now, moving on to something a little more hopeful. Aliens with advanced technology are here, and we have angered them. The evidence comes courtesy of a declassified video that shows the U.S. trying to shoot down a UFO. No, you fools! Don't shoot it down! Now the aliens will conquer our planet and enslave us beneath their bustier-wearing intergalactic queen. She will break us all with her iron will and her stiletto boots as we toil nude in her xanthium mines. I'm sorry. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I just read a lot of sci-fi during puberty. Now, here's the thing. Interesting thing about that story. You'll notice that I said tried to shoot down this UFO because when you look at the video, something crazy happens. A Reaper drone fires a Hellfire missile. Here's the missile. Boom! It knocks a couple of pieces off the orb, but the orb keeps going, and it looked like the debris was taken with it. That is incredible and frankly alarming. A metal ship fixing itself in mid-flight. Do you know what that means? The aliens have developed Terminator 2 technology, or even worse, Flex Seal. That'll work. That'll work. The UFO video was released by Missouri Republican Eric Burleson, who explained just how credible this footage is.
It's a remarkable video. I received it anonymously. I don't have the resources to do forensic on video. And so either I could sit on it, but look, I'm a disclosure guy. I'm just going to let the internet figure out the validity of this video.
Okay, good call. Good call. Yeah. Safest thing to do. The internet's going to get totally to the bottom of this, okay? After all, the internet are the folks who found out that one vegetable that melts belly fat. These stories make me a little excited, a little scared, a little turned on. Again, intergalactic queen. But you know what else gets me space excited? Last night we learned that NASA has discovered what they're calling the clearest sign of life they've ever found on Mars. Even more surprising, his name is Kevin. Having a good time. Having a good time up there. This momentous discovery is thanks to NASA's Perseverance rover, our favorite little deep space Roomba guy. On its journey across the Martian surface, it discovered some rocks with peculiar green, blue, black, and white dots that look like leopard spots. Can we see those? Jim, can we zoom out? I knew it! I knew she couldn't be from Earth. Other scientists believe the spots more closely resemble poppy seeds, thus proving my long-held theory that billions of years ago, Mars was an everything bagel. These little spots are actually special because scientists believe they're minerals that, on Earth, have traditionally been created from microbial activity. Space microbes, okay? This is microbe gesture. Space microbes, that could be very dangerous. What if one of them infects our buxom alien queen. She would need to be thoroughly scrubbed. Speaking of alien royalty, England. There's shocking news from across the pond because the UK ambassador to the US has been fired over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Those English are so funny. They call an elevator a lift, a truck a lorry, links to Jeffrey Epstein a fireable offense. The guy in question. The fired guy in question is veteran Labour Party politician Peter Mandelson, seen here wondering, don't I recognize that neck flap from Jeffrey's plane? Like Trump, Mandelson wrote a letter for Epstein's notorious 50th birthday book, writing, "Wherever Epstein is in the world, he remains my best pal." Not a lot of wiggle room there. Even worse, Mandelson included this photo where he's wet and swaddled in a bathrobe, hanging out with Epstein on a deck. They look so happy. But seeing that's got to sting Jeffrey's other best pal, hey, how come I was never invited to wet boy robe time? Everybody says, a lot of people are saying, you know, Tom, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm going to say because it's right up there. A lot of folks are saying I look great wet. Who could have seen this coming? From a man the British press has nicknamed the Prince of Darkness. That's a really impressive title from a country that also has Voldemort and Prince Andrew. A lot of Prince Andrew fans here tonight. This firing comes at a bad time for British Prime Minister and guy in the Cialis commercial right when it kicks in, Keir Starmer. I'm gonna get through some of these jokes tonight, I promise you. Starmer is already reeling from the resignation last week of his deputy prime minister after a tax imbroglio. A tax imbroglio. Why can't we be more like England? Our leaders never lose their jobs no matter what they do. Over there, they resign over some sort of tax pasta. I'll have the imbroglio carbonara, please. Oh, there's trouble in Paradum because Republicans have been concerned with the mad ramblings of Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. Last week, We can edit that out, right? Last week, the bad Bobby testified to Congress that children receive up to 92 vaccine doses in early childhood, when in fact children generally receive roughly 30 vaccine doses, many in combined injections. Yeah, Mr. Secretary, do your research. When your kid gets the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, that's just one shot. Same situation as when your girlfriend says, wow, that shower was so fast, how'd you have time to shampoo and condition? And you say, darling, let me introduce you to a little scientific miracle called Pert Plus. All this crazy talk about vaccines has driven a wedge between RFK Jr. and the president. Listen to what Trump said the day after Kennedy's testimony.
I think you have to be very careful when you say that some people don't have to be vaccinated. It's a tough stance. Look, you have vaccines that work. They just pure and simple work. They're not controversial at all.
Wow, that is shockingly sensible. But you know what they say about a broken clock? It was close friends with Jeffrey Epstein. But quality.
Good. That was good. I like that one.
But instead of ditching Bobby, Trump is trying to pretend that Bobby's liabilities are actually assets by saying things like this.
Well, he's a different kind of a guy. We're coming up with the answers for other things that normal people, regular people, easy to get along with people wouldn't be able to do.
That's a pretty backhanded compliment. Cindy, I love dating you because you're different from normal people, smart people, attractive people. Where are you going? I haven't talked about how weird you walk. Here in New York, the big city of dreams, the Trump Organization is poised to lose its bid for control of the Central Park skating rink. Damn it! No! Don't applaud, that's terrible. Now I'll never realize my dream of seeing cankles on ice. Instead, they were outbid by a real estate firm called Related Companies. That is the most suspicious corporate name I've ever heard. Who do you work for? Related Companies. Are they legal? They're related. Over in Deutschland, a recent survey says almost all German pilots admit to napping during flights. Okay, I take it back. We should clap on the planes. Gotta keep those pilots awake. According to a German pilots union, 93% of the pilots said they'd taken an in-flight nap during the past few months. Apparently, German pilots nap so much, there's a German word for it. Das Sleepy Pilot Honken Schween. We got a great show for you tonight. My guest is Usher. But when we come back, meanwhile, join us, won't you?